So, people, welcome back to Football Insights, where we talk about football related issues concerning transfers, player profile, and other football matters. So, this is your match review for the UEFA Champions League final that was played on the 10th of June 2023. That was on Saturday. I knew definitely this is going to come late, and that is why I gave you guys the fans' perspective of how they saw the game on Sunday, so that at least if this one comes late, we should be able to cope with the timing. So this is your match review for the Champions League final. As I said earlier, we all know Manchester City won the trophy, treble for them. Congratulations to them. They have really played well this season. They really deserve it because hard work pays. So let's get straight into the video. So as I said earlier, Champions League review. Um, Going into this game, people actually thought this game was going to be very, very cheap for Manchester City. People were saying 3-0, 4-0, first half 3-0. And when you know me or when you watch this channel, the build up to this match, all I was saying was that this particular match is not going to be cheap for Manchester City. It is never going to be easy for Manchester City. And then we all saw it on Saturday that this game was a very tough game because they were playing against Inter Milan. People actually thought of course, they have pasted Real Madrid 4-0. So of course, Inter Milan is going to be just an easy game for Manchester City. We all saw it on Saturday. Now, this particular game was one of the biggest or one of the toughest game for Manchester City. We all saw it, especially the battles that went on in the midfield, which we will come to that. So Manchester City started with a lineup of more pretty like their same lineup, but the only person who changed was Nathan Ake. So Ederson in the goal post, three back of Manuel Kanji, Ruben Diaz, and Nathan Ake. And then of course it is 3-2-4-1. So the two midfield in front of the three back was Wadri and John Stones. Big ups to John Stones. Pep has been able to unlock certain skills, certain play in John Stones that he never thought he could have done it or he could done it. So John Stones, Wadri as the two pivots, the four-man midfield or the four-man players in front of the two midfielders was of course Jadweles operating from the wings, Bernardo also operating from the wings, and then the two central midfielders was more like Kevin De Bruyne and of course their captain Nicky Gundogan, and then the big man up front, Erling Haaland, which I felt he didn't have a good game, which is going to worry him for his pursuit for the Ballon d'Or. Because when you want the Ballon d'Or, you kill some of these games. So, for example, when Benzema wanted the Ballon d'Or, he was scoring hat trick over hat trick over hat trick over hat trick. So that is how you do it, so that people will see you. But I think the Ballon d'Or between Messi and Haaland is going to be very, very, very difficult for Haaland. Very difficult for Haaland, considering some of his performance in some of these big games and all of that. So this is the lineup for Manchester City. So let's check out the lineup for Inter Milan. Inter Milan also started with their normal, lineup. On Andre Onana in goal post, Matteo Damien, Francesco Achebe, Alessandro Bastoni as the three back. And then big ups to them. They really played well. They have really done well this season, especially Bastoni, one of the top centre backs in world football or in European football right now. Bastoni. So Bastoni, Dumfries operating from the right wing back, and then Federico Di Marco, my man, very tall player, operating from the left wing back, and then of course their midfield, Nicolo Varela, Brozovic, the bomber boy, and then Hakan Çalhanoğlu as the three central midfielders, and then Eden Dzeko and Lautaro Martinez up front as expected. It was expected that Lukaku was going to come from the bench. So this is the lineup for Inter Milan also. So now let's get straight into the match analysis. This game started with every side being cautious, because it's early days yet. You don't go in a game, trying to attack. Even Manchester City, which was, seen as the tougher side or seen as the giant here, was not even attacking Inter Milan just like that. And then one thing we have to talk about is the midfield battle for Manchester City and Inter Milan. Inter Milan, I feel they won the midfield battle because Inter Milan saw that the midfield is very, very key for Manchester City. Of course, we have Bernardo Silva, even though he's operating from the wings, but he's a midfielder. Ike Gunowan and Kevin De Bruyne are very key players for Manchester City. So, of course, if you want to win Manchester City or you want to dominate Manchester City, it is gonna be their midfield. You have to, boss the midfield up, and that is exactly what Simeone Inzaghi did. He overloaded the midfield. Of course, the three midfield of Inter Milan: Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Brozovic, the bomber boy, and then Nicolo Barella. Three, as against four Manchester City midfielders. But one thing we also realized that Federico Di Marco, who was operating as the left wing back, sometimes draw in the midfield to help Barella, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, and Brozovic to become 4 against 4. So Simeone Inzaghi had a plan in terms of the midfield battle with Manchester City. So I feel he won the midfield battle because we saw that what Manchester City was looking out for, it didn't went as planned. Because Inter Milan drilled Manchester City very, very, very well. People thought this game was going to be cheap, but it was never going to be cheap. So the midfield battle between Manchester City and Inter Milan, I feel Inter Milan won it. Because going into the game, or as at 60 something minutes, Pep Guardiola was frustrated at the touchline. You can clearly see that he was frustrated. He didn't know what to do. And then Kevin De Bruyne is also out, so he was very, very, very frustrated. So the game started. As I said, the game started cool. One big chance for Haaland, a pass from Kevin De Bruyne, and then Haaland was too. I felt Haaland was too quick to prove something. That is how I feel. And then after the match, he was doing an interview with Thierry Henry on CBS Sports Golazo, and then Haaland was like, "What is one advice are you going to give me? Give me one advice." And then Thierry Henry was like, "Your positioning in the penalty box is on another level. It is insane, but you have to be very cool in terms of your second balls, going for the shot and all of that. That is what you have to improve on." And then it is very, 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 very true. Alan, when Alan is operating in the box, he's a demon. I don't mean demon as in demon, but he's a demon. He's a monster in the penalty box. But in this game, he was too quick to prove something. And then that is why we saw the first, shots or the first chance in the game, or even though the first chance in the game came from Bernardo Silva, and then Bernardo Silva is a very top player. Trust me, he is a very, very, very top player. But Haaland was too quick to prove something in the game. And then that chance he got, and then big ups to Onana. Onana is a very top goalkeeper. People don't rate Onana like that, but there is always going to be people who will not rate players. Even Ronaldo, people don't rate Ronaldo. So yes, of course, Onana proved that he is one of the top goalkeepers in world football right now. He's one of the top goalkeepers in European football right now. What I feel or what I love about Onana is the composure. He doesn't rush like other goalkeepers. He composed himself very, very well. Onana is very well composed, and then the ability to pass the ball. I was having an argument with some of the, my colleagues, and then they were like, Edison passed the ball very well more than Onana. No, bro, this is Onana. Onana passed the ball very, very, very well. So there is some theories out there that when he goes to Cameroon, he doesn't play as a goalkeeper. He plays as a midfielder. So Onana knows how to pass the ball very well and then well composed. So Onana saved the ball. And then of course from there it was Inter Milan drilled Manchester City. As I said earlier on, Inter Milan was very, very key, very determined. And then I loved the idea of Inter Milan in the first 30 minutes. They were not defending attacking. They were just trying to, contain Manchester City because they knew Manchester City was going to come in hard. So I love the fact that in the first 30 minutes, they were able to contain Manchester City. Don't attack, don't defend too deep to just contain them. Let's play the ball with them. If it was, a team that I know, which I am not going to mention the name of the team, they were, going to, just draw back and lose 4-0. You don't sit too deep against Manchester City. You can face them. So just face them and play the ball with them. And that is exactly what Inter Milan did. So Inter Milan were not showing signs of clinical. They were not clinical. That was their whole problem. Inter Milan were not clinical. That is their whole problem. Because I feel defensively they were solid. In the goalkeeping department, they were solid. In the midfield, which they won the battle, they were very solid. But they were not clinical enough. One guy who shocked me was Eden Dzeko. I didn't know whether he has taken money or something like that, but Eden Dzeko shocked me very, very, very well. And I didn't know what he was doing. He didn't look like he was up for the game. And then this is where I feel for the coach because he trusted Eden Dzeko very, very well. And then Eden Dzeko disappointed him. Honestly, Eden Dzeko disappointed Simeone Inzaghi very, 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 very well. So um, they were not clinical. One player was Lautaro Martinez. I trusted this guy that this guy was going to at least do something. But Lautaro Martinez was not clinical. You just look at that chance he had. Just square the ball to Romelu Lukaku. Let Romelu Lukaku do the next job or do the next thing. This guy wanted to, quote unquote, Opeso Jinidin. And then when I say Opeso Jinidin, it's more like something like, when we are doing something and then you wants to be the top or you wants to be the top of the town. That is not a sign of a good player. That is not a sign of a team player. You should be a team player in the final, but not a one-sided player. Don't be selfish in finals. And then you saw it in the Manchester City goal. A little drive from Phil Foden, and then he squared the ball to Manuel Akanji. Manuel Akanji squared it very well to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva saw that he cannot do anything about that. So what must he do? He squared the ball back to Rodri, and then a very top class shot, a curled shot by Rodri. Very top goal. Rodri won the player of the season, Champions League player of the season. And then, people should know this. There's a difference between Champions League player of the season and UEFA player of the season. So people should know this. And then Cavasquelia also won the young player of the season. Last year, Vinicius Jr. won the young player. Christian Cavasquelia also won the young player of the season. So Rodri was a very key. And then let's talk about Rodri. In the 2021 final against Chelsea, we heard that Rodri was going to start from the bench. And then people had problems with this particular, like people quoted or people, saw Pep Guardiola that he overthinked because Rodri should have started in the 2021 final. So they didn't have a solid DM. And that is what, caused Pep Guardiola. And this time around, he learned. And that is Pep Guardiola for you. He always learned. Pep Guardiola always learn. That is one thing you should know. Pep Guardiola always learn. So in the 29 minutes, something happened in the game. Something that people didn't expect happened in the game. And that thing is Kevin De Bruyne's injury. In the 29th minute, he pulled his hamstring. And then as at that time, people were like, yes, we said it. We said it. Manchester City is going to lose the cup. I even said it, because I was supporting, of course, I was supporting Inter Milan. So Kevin De Bruyne pulled his hamstring. And then this is becoming, so regular of Kevin De Bruyne. Every final, he seems to, get injury and a whole lot. I felt very, very, very sad for Kevin De Bruyne on that night. He pulled his hamstring on the 29th minute. And then he was like, he will continue on play or he will continue to play the ball. And then in the 35th minute, the first touch after the hamstring, he saw that no, this is never going to work. And then he came off. And then I love the idea of Pep Guardiola, bringing up we thought Pep Guardiola was going to go for an experienced player, i.e., Riyad Mahrez. But no, he rather went in for energy. And then this is the reason why Pep Guardiola went in for the energy. He saw that the Inter Milan boys or the Inter Milan players, their energy level was straight. Their energy level was on top of the moon. And that is why he went with the energy or the energetic guy, which is Phil Foden. And then it worked for him because the goal, Phil Foden, actually started the build up for the goal. Passed the ball to Akanji, Akanji to Bernardo Silva, and Bernardo Silva, and then it was goal. So Pep Guardiola went in for a more energetic guy instead of an experienced Riyad Mahrez. And big ups to Pep Guardiola. He really forced, or he really tried in the Champions League final. So that was a huge blow for Manchester City. And then as at that time, the 29 to 35th minutes, Manchester City were a little bit down because um, Inter was resulting in, or Inter came in the game with a mid-block tactics, trying to close the gaps, and then they did it very, very well up till when the goal, came. They were defending in a mid-block. The compactness in the defense and in the midfield was just insane. Big ups to Federico Di Marco. The guy played really, really well. The guy played, and then the guy, he's that old, but the energy level of Federico Di Marco is just insane. And really big up to him. When you look at this chance, Federico Di Marco really tried. But the second ball resulted in hitting Romelu Lukaku's leg, and then it was a misunderstanding though. And then Lukaku, let's talk about Romelu Lukaku. People actually blame Lukaku for this Inter Milan lost in the Champions League final. But I don't blame Lukaku. I didn't see it that it was Lukaku's fault, even though he missed a lot of chances or he missed one or two chances that cost Inter Milan. But people seem to, blame Lukaku for this loss. But Lukaku came in around 60, 59th minutes. But I felt he tried because Inter had four big chances. Most of the big chances were missed by Lautaro Martinez. So why do you turn around and then blame Lukaku for Inter Milan lost? That is not going to be, so fair to Lukaku. So people blame Lukaku. I don't blame Lukaku. I feel he did his part and he missed one or two chances. That is fine. But the main focus should be Lautaro Martinez, not Lukaku. So I feel very well. I feel for Lukaku. I feel Lukaku was not the cause of their loss because Inter Milan played really, really, really well. I won't lie, Inter Milan really played well. Brilliant effort by Di Marco, brilliant effort by Denzel Dumfries shocked me. Honestly, Denzel Dumfries shocked me. So Lukaku was never the reason why Inter Milan lost. So when people tends to blame Lukaku, I feel for him, honestly. I feel for him. And then in the next days, Chelsea are gonna, sit in a meeting to discuss Romelu Lukaku and Andre Onana as their next target. So I am praying positive talks will come out of this. Steven Zahn, please just take Lukaku, give us Andre Onana. That is all. If you love Lukaku love Inter, just take Lukaku, bring us Onana or give us Onana. That is what we love. So let's move on. I feel Manchester City, as said by my co-host Kingsley, they were motivated enough to win this particular treble or the Champions League. They were really, really motivated to win this particular game, and that came in play. Yeah, especially in the latter parts from 70 minutes coming, Manchester City were trying to contain them because of course Inter Milan were gonna attack. Because after the goal, Inter Milan was just going to, they brought in Robin Gosens and all of that. So they were trying to attack Manchester City. And then Manchester City were trying to, contain them. And that is exactly what you do in the final. You don't score first goal and then try to go in for the second goal, the third goal, and the fourth goal. You score one goal, stay a little bit reserved, contain your opponent. That is all. It is not by force that you should score four goals in a final or score three goals in a final. This is a final. When you get one goal, that is all. And that it shows that from for the past 3 seasons or for the past 3 years in the Champions League final, all the finals has resulted in 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. So in the final, you don't need to score much to win a final. So Manchester City really did well. Of course, treble for them. Congratulations to them. Rodri, player of the season or Champions League player of the season. Congratulations to him. Kricha Kvaratskhelia, best young player of the season in the Champions League season. Congratulations to him. Pep Guardiola, of course, he is going to win the manager of the season because he has the treble. Of course, he has the treble. So let's quickly check out the team of the season for the Champions League. In the goal post, it is Thibaut Courtois, which I feel it is not fair to Ederson and Andre Onana. I feel Andre Onana should be here. Thibaut Courtois, team of the season, goalkeeper, DiMarco at the left back, Bastoni, Ruben Diaz, and Kyle Walker. As for this defense, I don't have any problem with that. The midfield, John Stones, Rodri, and Kevin De Bruyne. I feel Nicolo Barella should be here. If not at all, Nicolo Barella should replace John Stones in the midfield. And then the attack was Vinicius Jr., Ellen Haaland, and Bernardo Silva. So I don't really have any problem with the attack because Vinicius Jr. did well in this season, Champions League. So this is the team of the season of the Champions League. 7 players from Manchester City, 2 players from Inter Milan, 2 players from Real Madrid. I felt Inter Milan has been cheated here. There should be Inter Milan's players should be around 4 or let's say 3 at least. Nicolo Barella should be in the midfield. So people, this is your match review of the Champions League final. A very brilliant game. Congratulations to Manchester City. Treble for them. They should enjoy. I saw on their socials that they are going to enter into the party mode. Of course, I understand the feeling. So of course, it is cool. And then I feel for the Italian teams. Inter Milan lost the Champions League final. AS Roma lost the Europa League final. Fiorentina also lost the Conference League final, which I feel bad that I didn't bring a review for the Conference League final. I feel very bad. But the time was not on my side. So this is the match review. Please make sure you click on the subscribe button. Press the post notification bell so that anytime we upload, you will be the first person to be notified. Please like this video, subscribe, share to your friends. Let's build this family because this is going to be a big family, in years to come. So let's build this family. Please subscribe to the channel. My name is Kobo, and then I'm out. Peace. Take care.